Okay, so we're gonna try this again, guys. So Carl, if you're there, you can try to okay, let's see if this works. Okay, I think I got it. Uh-oh, I see you're coming. You're coming in. You're coming in. Yay!
I was trying to go. I was trying to go the other way. It wouldn't let me. So I'm a director.
All right. Hey.
Hey, we're live.
All right. I know, finally.
Yes.
These technical difficulties. Let me get my camera all set up and kind of get situated here. And so we could start our light going on here. Guess I'm about maybe need to move to the side a little bit. Okay. Yay! What's up, Mr. Gilliard?
What's going on?
It's you and me today.
Oh Lord. I was trying to do it on my computer because I can relax, but I'm holding this freaking phone up. It's like, okay, let's see how long it can last like this. Am I too close?
Hey, we have to do it on the iPhone.
I wish I had a freaking stand. If I had a stand like in the radio station, that'd be good. See, look at you. I need that.
No, right? Okay, what's up, everybody? This is Zandra. I'm here with the wonderful, amazing Carl Gilliard. So before we start, Carl, would you lead us in a word of prayer? Because, we got to make sure that the Holy Spirit is leading and guiding and doing his thing.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this time of fellowship, Father God, but also this time of sharing. We just ask, Father God, that you would show yourself to be real right now, that anyone who is listening, who's taking part in this conversation, Lord, that they be blessed by it and edified, that lead them to the place of holy matrimony in the way that you intended, Father God, and not that of the world, because we know that marriage is ministry, Father God, and that it mirrors your Holy Trinity. And we love you for the opportunity to talk about these things in this day and time. Yes. And we love you, and we thank you for Zandra, and we thank you for the people that are on and who are coming on. We ask you for these and other blessings. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Thank you, Father.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get started, we want to know a little bit about you, Mr. Gilliard.
Oh, gosh. A little bit.
Tell us, who is Carl? Yeah, just tell us a little bit.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm an actor, professional actor, and artist, and director. And I've been married. This is my third marriage. So I've hit a few bumps in the road. And so I've taken it upon myself to share from my experience to the best of my ability. I believe in transparency and honesty. And that's kind of what I do. So I'm married. My wife's LaTanya. We've been going on 3 years now. And we have between us 5 children. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yes, between the two of us. And, wow, what is there to say? I mean, I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's the short version.
So we're gonna just jump right into it.
Okay.
So how did you? And I already know the answers to a lot of these questions. So these are some questions that the ladies have. So how was it that you found yourself married 3 times?
Oh, wow. Certainly wasn't planned.
Right. We know that.
I think every story was a different story. The first, I think, really, if I'm really honest, I think that on a certain level, choices on my part, choices that I made with the people I chose, but also things I did once things went left in the marriage caused them to go sideways. But as a man, I believe that we as leaders have to choose appropriately for who we are. We have to know ourselves. And, honestly, I didn't really know myself, especially the first time I got married. The second time, I thought that I did. I thought that I, kind of had the choice right the second time. But my execution in that choice wasn't really mature. I don't think, when I talk about, my blogs all the time, I talk about, what I would call unnecessary divorces. I believe that most divorces are unnecessary and come out of a sense of immaturity and lack of ability to stick to the plan that God has, to see it all the way through. So in the first marriage, that divorce did not have to happen. I pulled the trigger on that one. The second one, again, the divorce did not have to happen. She pulled the trigger on it for, I think, were really kind of bogus reasons. So that's just my opinion. She would probably not agree, but I'm saying that, yeah, she did it. So she's probably happy with her decision. And I'm happy with it now.
Okay.
But I'm saying that I'm glad she did it, actually, because of how it was going. It was not going well. And she was very unhappy. And because she was unhappy, you know, the saying, happy wife, happy life. When the wife is unhappy, whether it's your fault or not, you are in trouble. And that was pretty much the ode of the second marriage. So if she wasn't happy, I guess she had to leave, and that's good for her.
Okay. And so Tanya, this is her second marriage, right?
No, this is her third marriage too.
This is Tanya's third marriage.
Yeah, she was married at 20 for 4 years, very young. And then her second marriage was 16 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and then me. So
her third one. Okay, so what's changed? What is different about you now, Carl, that makes this third marriage the one?
Well, the pain, I think, you know, divorces are always painful, but the second one was really, really, really painful. Because I really felt the failure from that.
Men go through pain. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna hang up on you. Anyway.
Don't do that.
So no, seriously. Yeah, we do. In fact, you know, we'll talk about this a little later. I believe that the reason why men are so reticent to pull the trigger is because of pain. I think that many men really want to get married, but they don't want to go through the pain of going through a divorce that their friend went through, or some sort of breakup they've experienced before. And men, you know, I'm kind of an anomaly, you know, getting married, you know, 3 times. You know, most dudes that get married 1 time and say, you know what, that's it for me, I'm done. And that's kind of how I felt after the second time, was I felt like I was done. I think that if I...
So you didn't think you were going to get married this third time?
No,
so
well...
you were like, done.
No, I can tell you this honestly, if I were not a Christian, I would not have got married a third time. I would have been done. I wouldn't have done it again. Oh, okay. Why would I? Why? I have my 2 kids. You know, I'm in decent shape. You know, I have no problem meeting women. You know, I'm in the world now, so I'm just going to date and, you know, and do what I do. So I think the fact that I was convicted by the Word of God and my walk as a Christian was really important to me. That's, you know, in part what led me to do it a third time for sure.
Okay. So this third time around, so what are some things that are different about you?
Well, I think that because of how the second divorce went down, it forced me to really take a hard look at who I was. And I think that the major mistake that I made with the second marriage was there's a lot of compromise about who I was, mainly my career. Because I can remember when I married her, I was acting full time, and she knew that. But I wasn't, you know, but I've always had that out clause. I'm the guy that, you know, I worked for Variety for 3 years and quit acting, and I've worked for different people and quit acting. So when I met her, I told her, I said, you know what, I'm acting right now, things are going well, but you know what, I'm gonna look for a job, and I'll find a job within a couple of years. Well, that didn't happen. And I think that caused her a great deal of consternation regarding me. And actually, I think she did not believe I was actually really trying to find a job. But the reality is, I wasn't supposed to have no doggone job like that. That was not who I am. It's not who I am now. And so that was the beginning of the end. And that's kind of the surface of it. There's a lot of other things that happened in between, some of the dynamics we shared, the way we communicated. I didn't find her to be a very honest person either. And if you're dishonest with me and you tell me things and you don't hold your, you know, we're going to have problems. So, and then there's a lot of disrespect going on too. So anyway, what's different about me now is that I know who I am. I know that I'm going to be a professional actor and artist forever. So to be in my life, you got to be on board with that. And if not, then you got to go. And so I was very comfortable with that coming out of this last marriage. Whereas the second time I wasn't. I was like, you know what? I'll get a job if I have to. I'll fall back on this if I have, that kind of thing. And when that didn't happen, I think she became very, you know, I got to have my Jaguar now. I got to have my house now, and I got to have the clothes. I mean, she just, you know, that was what she was about. I think. So,
Okay.
that's what led to this. And she had to go. I think that she needed to go. I didn't know that. That's not what I wanted. But, you know, looking back on it, she needed to go. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So looking back, would you have married either women?
Not the second one.
Okay.
Not the second one. The first one, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you take full responsibility for that marriage ending?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I think responsibility for both of them, actually.
Okay.
Both of them, actually. But I just feel that, you know, given your question about looking back, you know, the first marriage, I've got my 2 children from that marriage. I mean, and I can't imagine my life without those. When I look at the second marriage, when I look at the honesty of it, and I'm just being totally honest, there is nothing I got out of that other than the pain that brought me to this maturity that I have right now. But I mean, looking on the surface, I would have been better off without that one, because it didn't help me, you know, do anything other than grow from the pain that I went through. You know, she didn't give me anything that I couldn't have gotten from a girlfriend, you know. But we had good times, took vacations together, enjoyed each other's company. We had, you know, went to the movies, had good conversations, laughed a lot. You know, we did have good times, but there was nothing there. You know, she didn't give anything to my children. She didn't, I left with less money than I had when I married her. I mean, I gave a lot to that. I literally had to start all over again to get out of it. You know, to summarize your question, would I have chosen the second one? No, absolutely not.
No.
No.
So in the second one, there was nothing that you could have done to save that marriage?
I did try to save it. Yeah. I tried to save it. Yeah.
So the answer is no.
Yeah.
You did all that you could.
She had her own agenda. And you know, being a woman, once you guys decide something, you know, it's over. You know I'm right. Okay.
Are there any things that you do different in this marriage versus the other ones, such as the way you approach a disagreement?
Yes. But I think that's also a function of who I'm married to. You know, you know, my wife is, you know, and my wife talks about this all the time. So, you know, she would agree with this. Okay. She is not a very provocative person, LaTanya. I mean, she does not provoke. I think that when you're with somebody, you got to know.
So you're saying your other wives provoke? Or your
the second one especially. Both of them did. But the second one especially. I mean,
Okay, give me an example of provoking.
No, you don't want to hear that. You know?
Give us a hypothetical
It's so many examples. But I mean, like, you know, number one, you know, you can't be cussing at me. You can't be calling me a broke ass, blah, 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 and expect for me to not say something back. Now, I might take it once. I might take it twice. But if you hit me up on a bad day that I'm already feeling bad about myself and you call me that, I might call you something back. And that's me. You know. My wife,
even though it's not right. Even though
I didn't say it was right. I didn't say it was right. Okay. I'm just telling you that that's me.
So, the real. You keeping it real.
I'm just telling you. You know, and you know, I can remember telling a couple of closer friends of mine some of the talks we had. Some of the things my ex-wife said to me, a couple of women actually broke down and started crying because they couldn't imagine that someone would say that to their husband. But that's what I was living with. And when I would say it back, and I did, you know, and it wasn't right, it created a very tough situation for her, because even though I was responding to something that was happening, now I become, you know, OJ revisited without the physical part. You know, I become the abusive man. Because of things that I said that were not right. And you know, this is not something that I've had, you know, this is not a secret. I've talked about this pretty openly. You know, my response to her was totally incorrect and totally out of the realm of myself as the leader of the house and the priest. And it was wrong. I think that a husband should be able to rise above anything. But on the other hand, and I'm not trying to equivocate or make excuses for her, and this is kind of part of when I was choosing this wife that we have now, I'm not going to choose a wife who's going to provoke me. I'm not going to do that. That's just not, I'm not doing that. I'm going to know that what I can handle. And you know, LaTanya wouldn't even begin to even approach some of the things I heard from her, no matter how angry she's ever gotten. And I've seen that already. I've been married to LaTanya for 3 years. She has never cursed at me one time. Now you might say, wow, what's the big deal? Well, I've lived that, where your wife is cussing at you all the time. And
Okay.
I don't live well with that. I don't do well with that. And LaTanya has been mad at me many times, trust me, because I can be a handful. But man, she has. Hey, you ain't got to agree so quickly. I'm just saying that, you know, that's not my life now, and I'm so grateful. I have so much less right now. Where I'm living is small, and it's not what I'm used to. But I am so much happier. Which is another good point to make too. A man will sleep under a freeway, will live in a cubbyhole rather than a mansion with a crazy.
Scripture will back that up.
You know what I'm saying? That proverb scripture is real.
Yeah.
I could, you know, if I was living in freaking Beverly Hills and Bel Air and had a situation like I had before, I'd rather live right here with nothing than to hear all that in my ear all the time. All that contentiousness and just, you know, confronting me. And no, don't do that. Because I'm also the kind of guy that you can deal with. I mean, you've got to, you know, we can have a conversation. I'm not someone who's trying to run from anything. I'm the kind of guy that will have a conversation with you. But if you push me enough, I will push you back. And I'm sorry that I'm that way. I'm a little older. I'm probably better now than I was 10 years ago. But I'm just not the guy. You know what? Let me just say this. Most guys are that way, by the way. Most men are that way. Most men are that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you guys handle the coming together of your children? How do you all approach discipline? What happens if you all disagree with your approach? And these kids are all of your kids are grown.
Well, see, my kids are all grown, pretty much.
Right.
But that was an issue in the second marriage too. That's
How did
well,
tell us the wrong way, then tell us how you do it.
Well, you have to discuss, you know, certainly don't have fights about how the kids are disciplined in front of the kids. And you have to agree on what you're going to do. And it's a process, and it's incremental, you know. And when in the second marriage, my kids were small, and she had a daughter who was about, I think her daughter, who's still my daughter, by the way, still my daughter. She was 11 at the time. My son was 11 or 12, and then my daughter was maybe 14 or 15. And so the main issue that we had was, you know, my ex-wife always favored her own child. And when you know, even though it's natural to favor your own children, that's natural. I get it. It was very blatant in the way that she did it. And it caused me great problems with my biological kids, which is another reason why we not have married her either, is because of what happened with my children with her.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of how to commingle, it's not easy to do, but it's doable. I think that one of the more public examples of how it can work is what I've heard Jada Pinkett Smith say, which is really the ideal. Jada Pinkett Smith talked about embracing Will's first wife, embracing his kid, and that's what you got to do. You really have to really embrace the mother of the children, or the father. In the case of my stepdaughter, I embraced her father. I did that. She did. My ex-wife didn't do that, but I did it for her father, my stepdaughter's father. I did that, but she didn't do that with even though we talked about it, and then we got married, she switched up on me. She didn't do it with me. No, yeah. So.
Okay. So as far as love, so you went through it twice. So this third time is a charm. So you said if you were not a Christian, you would not have gotten married. But wouldn't you want to fall in love again? And
I'm saying I wouldn't have got married the third time. Maybe not even the second time.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying I would have never gotten married.
Okay.
I might not have gotten married the second or third time had I not been a Christian.
Okay. But you don't mind. So do men you mentioned about men getting hurt. Come on now, Carl. Women, I'm not going to say who hurts the most.
Yeah.
That may be debatable. However, it seemed like women get the short end of the stick a lot of times. Come on now, Carl. Come on, Carl.
Well, okay. Let me put you like this. This is kind of a double-edged sword, because it's almost unfair to make it about men versus women, because I think it's individual.
Okay.
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 But I will say that women, you guys, when you hurt, it's more visible, maybe. at times, except for guys like me. But but typically, women are more visible with theirs. But it doesn't mean that men aren't hurting. In fact, you see the result of that with how they act with the dating process. That's really pain. It's not that they're trying to be, players per se, but we don't want to get you,
Well, then why don't they just act right?
Oh, wow.
Act
right. What does that mean? What does act right mean? What does that mean?
Okay. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I've been on 2 of your programs when it came to relationships and marriage. I'm gonna try to get the Guy Pearce show. What's the name of the 2 guy?
Guy Williams. No, that's Guy Williams. You talking about Damian Parker? Guy Parker. Yeah.
Hopefully, I can get those 2 on the show.
Okay.
The question that's come up a lot in this group dealing with men, and you and I talked about this.
Yes.
Is that there's a lot of women who are in groups like this.
Right.
We're trying to learn. We're trying to grow. We want to know how to do it different, how to be the good wife, the Proverbs wife. And we just, and I know you and I discussed this, the women don't know this part, but we just don't see the men. Like, the men are the head. You're the head. We need to have a husband that we can follow, that we can trust, that that's going to lead the family. And what we're finding is that a lot of men are not willing or able to lead. Yeah. We know that a lot of men have been raised by women, and we understand that, So first, let's address that. All of the men that's been raised by women without the fathers in the house that don't know how to lead, what do we do with that? Do we stay clear of those type of men?
Okay, I'm gonna give you an allegorical comparison. So my second wife thought I was a horrible leader.
Okay.
My current wife thinks I'm the best thing ever.
Okay.
So, in other words, I'm not trying to, spin your assessment of men who don't lead. I'm simply saying that it comes down to suitability.
Okay.
All right. So,
okay.
I'm a great leader. Actually, I'm not perfect, but I'm a really good leader. I'm a solid, solid, accountable individual that is open and whose heart is open to the Word of God and to the Holy Spirit. So, in my view, I don't know how anyone would pass on me, but they do.
Okay.
Or they did.
Okay.
So I get to your point now. So let me deal with the other piece, because I know what you're saying about the whole thing about how women are. Gosh, there's a huge difference between men and women, and we got into this whole thing about accountability. We were back and forth on that one. Let me just give you this. The reason why people like Steve Harvey and others are so successful with what they're talking about is because women, though they are open to hearing how it's done, very seldom are they actually willing to change anything. They just want to. It's like they're waiting to hear something.
Shut up! Seriously?
It's like they kind of want to hear. Keep hearing it till it's finally what they want to hear. They don't really want to do anything about what they've heard. That's why, because the things that Steve Harvey talks about ain't nothing new. The things that this guy on the web, I can't think of his name right now. He's a kind of a country guy. He's got 1 million people following him. He's not saying anything that isn't. This stuff is all old, and these women read the books and listen to these blogs and put up these memes over and over and over again, and don't change jack. It's something about how you guys feel about
things. Give me an example, Carl.
Oh, example! Oh my God! It's almost like you guys want it to be done the way you want it to be done, and if it's not that way, oh my God! Okay, all right. So, one example is, and we talked about this.
Okay.
You guys say you want a leader, but then have no idea on how to follow anybody. And then blame it on the guy for not being a good leader when you ain't trying to follow nobody. That's one big example.
Okay.
I have another one. Women keep choosing the same type of dude over and
I agree with. Again. I agree with that.
Some women, and many of them in the church, will get with dudes, sleep with them over and over again, ends up the same way. They get mad at the guy. Guys will tell them, guy friends like myself, don't do it. Don't do it. This is what the guy's about.
Right,
They do it anyway.
That's
kind of why these books and these gurus do so well. Now, to your point, I have a couple of close friends who I actually disciple. Okay. Because of all the failure, all the things I've done and the mistakes I've made, I have a lot of wisdom. There are a couple of men who listen to me, right? But they're not gonna buy no doggone book. We just don't.
Why?
We just don't do that. I'm sorry. We read a book, but not about this. We just don't do. I can't tell you.
Well, then how are they to learn to be a good leader? How
are
they to learn
here's the thing that I think you miss. Men are likely to go to a men's revival or a men's church service, or be in a men's group at church, and have men disciple them, individual men discipling them, and we don't talk about it. We don't, because I do it, and I know lots of men who do that. Like if I go to a men's service at Faithful Central, there'll be thousands of guys there. I've gone to stuff down at Angeles Cathedral off Glendale Boulevard, thousands of guys there, just men.
Are they learning? Are they growing?
Well, they are. See, the thing about it is, Zandra, see, let me just say it to you like this. I mean this with all due respect. And this is the thing, and this goes back to the accountability question. Women have to stop blaming men for their lack of ability to be able to catch the man they want and look at themselves. That's an accountability issue.
I agree with that.
You guys feel things. You feel things and think that that's real. Well, it's real to you. And the thing about the thing about men is that we're resilient. This is the piece about the part that you don't think we hurt. Men are more resilient. So men will basically say, okay, I want a wife, but you know what? To hell with it. I'm going to go out here and have a good time because I can. I can go out to Ralph's and meet two right now. If I wasn't married, I can leave my house, go to the Galleria, and meet two women. And if they don't work out, meet two more the next day. That's kind of the checks and balances that exist with the dating process. And I think that a lot of women think more highly of themselves than they ought because they're pretty. But they're not kind.
Oh, we had that conversation.
And, in LA, every time
there's a pretty women are dime a dozen.
You have no idea, Zandra. It's like
I'm a model, Carl. I know I'm a model. Hello.
So
hello.
I always tell, and my wife got me this way. My wife got me because she was so freaking kind. And she really is that's who she really is. This book she wrote, book's 90-something pages. I read the book in like an hour or less. And after I put the book down, I said, you know what? This is how you got me. This is what you did to me. Because everything she wrote in that book, she believes in. And that's how she really is. She doesn't cuss at me. And I'm not always the nicest guy in the world. She uses kindness to make me feel like crap. Most men who, when we love you, when we do stupid stuff, all we need is that look and the disappointment in your eyes, and we are just done. We're just done.
Okay.
And too many women want to get it back. They want to twirl their heads around. They want to point in our face, and and I'm like, no, you're not gonna do that. And this, it doesn't work. It's just not a very pragmatic way to approach us, even though it's done.
Okay.
So we just, with Zandra, we're different. So
right.
And so that's really, the answer to a lot of your questions you're asking. Why don't men do this? Blah blah blah. It really breaks down to the fact that we're different. And if I were a woman, women have these checklists, which I'm good with the checklist. He must be whatever. He must make this much money. He makes whatever you want to put in the checklist. That's all fine and good. But on the top of that checklist, what you should have is what you need to find the man whose dream and whose purpose that you can attach to. That's what it should be.
I agree with
that. If you got a dude who ain't got nothing, if you got that, you got everything. And too many women are trying to line up all these checklists. He must have a Jaguar. He must live in Palos Verdes. He must have big biceps. He must be 6'2". Okay, you can have all that stuff, but if you don't connect to his purpose, you might be divorced in 3 years. That's the fact. Okay. And that's what I discovered when I got married. I was looking for somebody who's connected to my purpose. And if you don't connect to my purpose, we can go to a movie. I can kiss you on the couch, have a good time, but I'm not going to marry you.
Right.
And that's what came to me the third time.
So A lot of the men that you come in contact with, do they have purpose? Do they know what their purpose
I think many of them do.
is?
I think many of them do. Now, I'm not trying to say they all do, but let me see what the people are saying.
Right.
Yeah, so you say you're a good leader. Have you always been a good leader? No, I haven't. If the answer is no, would you have been honest about not being a good leader? I'm looking at Tanya's question, and I'm asking, what did you ask?
Okay.
Sandra? Should I go with you, or should I go with Tanya?
No, and you can answer a question. You can answer a question. You can get back
so
to
I think that I've always been a good leader. I think that I'm a better leader now because of all the pain and crap I've been through. But I was always a good leader. I've always been prone to lead. That's been reflected in my life. I'm the guy that walks into an organization, walks into a class, walks into a church, and in 3 years I'm leading something. So I have those attributes already in my personality and in my DNA. So the thing about my choices, though, is that
every man is a good leader. That's how God created you.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know if that's true for all the men I know, but I know what you're saying.
I know. I'm not saying that they are, but that's their God-given. When God created man, the first thing He did is he was a leader,
right? And
He was supposed to teach us,
right?
And I think a lot of men, and which is why a lot of us divert back to, and we understand the whole breakdown. Try to get a pastor to come in and explain the breakdown of man and why things have been flipped upside down. But I think the question that a lot of women that we talk about is just, we're in the prayer closet all the time. We're in the war room. We're just warring a lot for our men.
Yes.
We're supposed to be helpmeets and not be over.
Right.
And define what is leadership? What is a true godly Christian leadership of a man?
It's really vision. It's really, a lot of times women fill in the blanks of the vision, but the visionary is the man. So in my situation, for example, choosing the right person connected to my purpose is going to cause me to be a better leader because she's going to help me be a better leader. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, as opposed to a woman who's going to marry you and point at you from a distance and say, why aren't you leading me? It's a big difference.
Okay.
And some women will do that, especially women who are type A. They will, because you don't lead the way they would lead. It's like, you're not leading. Maybe you ain't following him. Maybe you don't like his leadership. And that's legitimate. But you can't say he's not leading because you don't like his leadership.
I just don't like
his leadership is what you should be saying. And so you need to be choosing somebody who you can follow, which is the other point. Follow somebody who you can follow and who you're connected to his purpose. You don't marry somebody who you can't follow, then say he's not leading. That's crazy. I agree. That's crazy making.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. I've been there. I know how crazy that is. It's crazy.
So what are you finding, or what are you hearing from your friends, the type of Christian women that's out there? What are we doing wrong?
Oh, wow.
In your opinion?
Well, I that's a really general question. That's very general, Zandra. But, you got one set of Christians who are extremely prosperity and materialistic, who are shooting themselves in the foot because either they have a bunch of stuff. They got a house, they got a car, they got money and all that, and looking for some dude to come in there with what they have. I'm not trying to say that's wrong. I'm trying to say that it has potential to doom you over time. Then you have another set of women in the church who are so holy that they cannot see anything other than that. If the man is not saying Jesus after every sentence, then he ain't the right guy. That's crazy too.
Praise God.
Then you got women who are playing the Christian card for convenience, right? They play it for convenience.
Let's talk
so
there. We understood the other first two. Let's talk about playing the Christian card for convenience.
Yes.
Let's explore that. Mm-hmm. Examples.
Well, they heathens, right?
Keep it real.
They boning every other day, but then they want to use the Christian card when the guy's doing something they don't like or he's not coming along. In other words, you got a woman who's a Christian, and then she's boning a dude, and then he's not moving on her the way that she would like him to. And so now it's because of his lack of ability. I dated a girl one time because celibacy was tough for me. I ain't gonna lie. And I
it's for everybody. It's tough for everybody.
Okay, well, so there was this one lady I dated one time.
But some of us are like sticking it out.
Well, you know,
anyway,
my second wife, we didn't have sex at all until we got married. You know, so we did it the right.
Yeah, but how long did
we
y'all
did it the
date?
right
How long
way.
did y'all date?
We did it the right way. Look what happened to us.
How long did y'all date?
How long did you date? About 8-9 months. Which, you know, I don't recommend anybody who's like above 42, 43 years old try to date for 2-3 years and you're a Christian. You need to jump on this thing and get some counseling. What you need to get, and like that stuff grew up in a year. That whole thing about we're gonna date for 3 years to get to know each other. You better use some faith and some wisdom and get married or get out of it. You know. So anyway,
okay.
So I remember one time I was dating this girl a long time ago, and like back in the late 90s, and I was, you know, I always tried to date, you know, women and not have sex. I wasn't the kind of guy that was saying, well, you know, we got needs and God understand. I was not that guy. I was the guy that the clothes are coming off, I'm going to take it because it's there. That was me.
Okay.
So there was this one lady, and we were trying to be celibate, and I would go to her house, and every time I go over there, this girl somehow finds a way to drop her clothes. And I just was like right there with it. And I wasn't asking her to do this.
What do you mean by drop her clothes?
So let me
walk in and just start taking off her clothes.
Well, you know, things start happening. You maybe start kissing or whatever, and then.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then you look up.
I thought you meant like you sitting in the couch and she come in there like with the strips.
It was kind of like that, though. It was kind of like that. So then she broke up with me, and then she said, "You know what?" She said, "You need to be a better leader. You know, I know men that would not have taken it, and you took it. So that means you're not the right man for me." And she broke up with me over that. I know women who do that. Yeah.
To this day?
Well, I've heard women doing that.
So they'll sleep with you and then blame you for sleeping with them.
That's the accountability piece, remember? Yes.
I'm accountable.
You probably are, but I'm just saying you're a unicorn though, okay?
I don't know any woman that's
no, you can't. You cannot. That's the other thing. You cannot use your relationship with these women to know what's really happening. With you, they're different from they are with men. That's the other thing. Women are not the same with their girlfriends. If you were to say, okay,
Tanya, you lying to me. Let me go on. How many of y'all on here lying to me? No, go ahead.
No. I don't even think the women think they're lying. I just think that it's their feelings. Their feelings are their truth. I don't think the women are saying, I'm lying. I just think they really don't. They're connected to their feelings about what is the best world scenario about what they want rather than what really is. I don't think they're lying.
Okay.
I don't think they're lying. I don't think that. It's like if you were to line 10 women up on the wall, they would all say they're ready to get married. They would all say it. But really, it's only like 3 of them that's really ready to get married. Guys.
Do they know that they're not ready to get married?
Usually they don't know. Usually.
Okay, see, I know I'm not ready. I just didn't know.
Usually they don't know.
Okay.
The fact that you said you're not ready, that tells me a lot about you. There's a lot of women who think they're ready and they don't. They're so doggone selfish about everything. Because marriage is about a partnership. It's not about you all the time. And most men realize that it's about the wife. Most men actually, when they get married, they know it's about her. But the really good wives, like my wife it's about my wife. Even though my wife is not like that, it really is always about her anyway. But she's a good she's a good one though, because she really is a person that is about the partnership. She's really bought into that. She's really, and that's really, really rare. It's just rare. Okay. People want the wedding, they want the pomp and circumstance, they want the pretty dress and all of that, but they don't want to really lead them, allow a man to lead. They don't really want to go through poor times. They don't want to go through anything. They want it to be like they see it in television or in the movie.
Right.
And that's guys pretty much know what it's about, and we ain't gonna do it because we don't have the money. We're not ready. We're not doing it. That's the difference.
Right. So, Carl, how are we to deal with you if you're leading and we don't like where you're leading us? So, what are we to do? What's the proper thing to do in that scenario?
Well, if you're dating, and
if you're married, dating is easy, but if you're married,
well, I don't. I don't believe that you should divorce a guy. I think that you should try to work it out. Try to find a way to get counseling, maybe work out the problems you're having. And there's certain areas where he may not be leading as well. And if it could be money, then maybe you should handle the money. I mean, there's ways around it. If a man loves you, a man will really do what it takes to keep you around. Because we don't want to go. Most men don't. I think that women are more likely to want a divorce. I'm not trying to say that I'm making a generalization, okay? Most women are more likely to divorce over what you're talking about, or over these kinds of issues that seem to be irreconcilable differences, than a man will. A man will stick it out. He might cheat. He might do something crazy. I give you that. But a man is less likely to walk away from the marriage. Women will walk away from it.
Okay.
Over stuff like you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
He's not leading me.
So give me some signs of what leading me.
Mm.
So give me some signs of when a man really loves you.
Oh gosh. He will include you in everything according to his life. He will want you to be a part of his life. There will be a behavior in him that puts you first. He's going to be your Prince Charming and your king. He's going to act like that. It's going to be in everything that he's doing, everything that he's saying. You'll know where he's at mostly all the time. He'll, do chivalrous things, send you flowers. He'll want to be around you all the time. And he will always make you a priority. And it won't be in his talk, it'll be in his behavior.
Okay.
And you will know he's coming.
So how do you know?
You won't be guessing about it. You won't be like, no. You will know how a dude feels. If you guessing, then he ain't something wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you know then if you meet a guy and he ain't really trying to be with you like that, he just want to hit it, or he has ulterior motives? How do you then see that's, what are the telltale signs that guy is not good for you?
Well, if you're a Christian, now this is I'm splitting the difference here. If you're a Christian and you've told the man that you are celibate and you want to be celibate, and he's trying to coerce you into the bedroom, and he's doing it really early especially, that's a real good sign. Behavior with men is everything. It was anything with anybody, but behavior with us is everything, especially in the dating process. It's like, sometimes I don't understand why y'all don't see the stuff that is pretty much obvious.
Okay.
I think sometimes because you project onto the man what you want it to be, and you keep wishing and wanting it to be what it isn't. Yeah. You want it to be what it isn't.
Okay.
It will never be. But you want it that way until you get drawn in. And if you sleep with the guy, he's got you. He's got you. He's got you.
Okay. So do not unequivocally, which we know as Christians, we're not supposed to be doing that anyway. Let's just, So once you sleep with the guy, it's already lost. Is that what you're saying? It's already pretty much.
You've definitely hurt your chances for sure. I won't say it's already lost, but I would say that you have certainly diminished your possibilities. The earlier you do that, the worse it is too. Listen, as Christians, we shouldn't do it until we get married. I can't say I did that every single time. Me and LaTanya did sleep together before we got married. I'm just gonna say that.
You did not.
We did.
Together. You did not sleep together.
We did.
You did or did?
Did. We did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did. But we did, and then we tried to stop, and then that's
Wait a minute, you saying LaTanya your third wife or your second?
No, LaTanya is my current wife.
Right, I know that. I thought you said you and LaTanya were absent.
No, I said my second wife. We were absent.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay.
I can.
LaTanya wants you to tell us that.
I don't think she cares. I don't.
Oh,
I don't think if she does, she like.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Next time I see you, have a black eye. No. So I'm just saying. Okay, so can we talk about that for a moment?
Yes.
As to, did you not have self-control?
Like I said earlier, you start taking clothes off and you give it to me, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna coerce you to give it to me, but I'm not real good at that. I'm not gonna tell you that I'm not.
So how did you feel? So was God convicting you? Because see, God will convict me.
Yeah.
See, this is how.
I was very convicted.
He will be hitting me.
I was very convicted. I was. In fact, we stopped. We would stop. And when we would stop, she was like, she would agree, and then we'd fall back into it again. So we had moments when we had stopped. We'd stopped. I remember, when I was dating the second wife, we didn't have it at all. But we had a clear agreement and regiment in terms of what we did, in terms of, we didn't stay together either house. I would leave at a certain time when I was at her house. I wouldn't come in sometimes. I mean, we had a really good kind of regiment that we followed.
So why didn't you do that with Tanya?
And then let me finish. And there was a girlfriend I had before I met LaTanya. I had dated a girl for about 3 months, and we didn't sleep together either. We never slept together.
Okay.
Yeah. And because why did I do it with LaTanya? Because she gave it to me. I'm not. There's something. I'm not a good Christian in some areas. I'm not going.
So then give me hope, because that's the one thing I've been abstinent for a long, long time. And a lot of women in this group has been abstinent for a long time. And that's something that's come up. And I get it that you're not trying to force a woman to be intimate. But the issue that comes up, obviously, if I'm dating you, I'm in love with you, you're in love with me. So I'm trying to create a barrier or a balance that we don't go there, because I want to be pleasing to God.
Right.
I don't want to know his words. So if kissing gets me, then I'm going to say, you know what, honey, we can't kiss, we can't hold hands. And the brothers that I talk to was like, they don't want to be bothered. So then it's like.
You mean these guys in church?
These are Christian men. They say they're Christian men.
Well, I can't comment. I know a lot of guys who are in the church who really compromise on this. I mean, in an aggressive way. So I'm not trying to, compare me to them. I just know that a lot of guys, they aggressively pursue sex. With me, I'm just a little weak.
But how do you aggressively pursue sex?
I can't speak for them. I can't speak for them. I can't speak for them.
You need to interview or bring them on the show then. Because how are you as
They ain't gonna come on the show and say it out loud. They ain't come on the show and say it. They're not gonna do that.
That's why we're here. I'm not trying to judge. I'm just trying to understand. Because if we're saying that God is Lord over our life, and that's what we're trying to do, it's like I'm trying to be chaste until we decide to get married, just so you don't have a bunch of partners that you slept with, because stuff happens, or even pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm waiting for my husband, this is the problem when you say women are sleeping with these guys. Sometimes it's pressure, but I get it that you can't force someone to do something. But I want to know for real, like straight up, is he going to really not sleep with me, not want to kiss me, not want to hug me or hold me?
I'm going to give you, the women that with my second wife, when we did not have sex, we had a lot of physical activity. We didn't have sex though. We were a lot of kissing going on with her. And then even with the girl I dated before I met my wife, who we were very, very close. We were physical too, but we didn't have sex. So I don't know many guys, and I'm speaking for me, I'm not speaking for other guys, but I don't know many guys who would, along with not having sex, are going to not be able to kiss you and not be able to have some sort of romantic interaction with you. I don't know how that works. I wouldn't do that.
If it's going to lead, Carl, then this would be your assignment then. Because if I'm telling you it's going to lead me into sin, I'm telling you I can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if the girl is
so what do you expect? What do you expect? What do you, Zandra?
I expect for him to do what the word says.
Okay, but for you, he's not talking about having sex with you. He's saying that he wants to be able to kiss you and hug you. And
Carl, I've never met a man that could kiss. They say that. They'll say, Zandra, sure. And then it ends up leading to where I'm fighting them off. And it's hard for me because all your emotions and everything is all.
I get it.
Your body, everything is going. So what I'm saying for me, I can't speak for any other. I don't even know how many women on here are actually practicing abstinence. I know that, a couple of women in my small group, actually at Faithful Central, that's something that we're striving to live holy.
Right.
As best we can, but it's hard to find the guy that's willing to just like, okay, babe, I know Zandra, I'm going to want to have sex with you. So, or I know whoever the guy is, I'm going to want to have sex with you. So I'm putting barriers up so that we don't go there. Carl, let's keep it real. Kissing is going to lead to something else.
Okay, Zandra, I'm being very transparent here, and I'm telling you what I've done. I can't speak for, Joe Blow.
You talk to a lot of these guys, so that's why I brought you on the show, because you know what's going on. They're too scared to come on here. We can talk about that another time. They're too afraid to come on here and just say and be real and be honest.
I can just tell you that it's not impossible. Because I've done it.
You're saying not probable though.
I've been with women and not had sex with them, but yet had very tender moments with them. And
so you're saying that if you
sure, I've been tempted and all that stuff, and it's tough. But I'm not the guy that's gonna beg or coerce a woman to go to the next level. I'm not that guy. I won't do. I'm telling you, when I'm
talking about dating, your friends, Carl. I
have never had a tender moment with my friends. I don't know how they handle it. I know I have heard.
This is just so messed up. This is so frustrating. But you know what? What we want to hear. This is what we want to hear. Yes, sweetie. What I'm going to do is put a barrier up in place that we won't go over that line.
I've done that.
You won't. And I know you're being honest. They won't do that. Of course, Carl, if I'm with, Prince is dead, but that was my husband in my head. So if I was with him, like, I know I can't be sitting up listening to no Prince album. I know what's going to happen. I'm not stupid. I know what's going to happen. Right. Come on now, somebody. I know what's going to happen. I haven't met a person yet that was honest with me that have not gone, that's truly, when it's someone that they're truly in love with. A lot of times we just mess around with people, or you know what I'm saying, that there's some couples, I'm not saying that there are none. There's some couples who put up barriers and they kiss and touch, and then they'll say, okay.
I did that. I'm trying to tell you, I did that. I'm just like,
but you just said with your current wife, you didn't do it.
But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm saying to you that where I've done what you're describing, and I've done it more than one time. My second wife.
So is that
my
the right
second
way?
wife? I'm gonna say something now. Are you there? My second wife.
I'm here.
Never slept with her one time, but she left me over money. But we didn't have sex.
Okay.
All right, listen.
Do not use that as.
All right, listen.
Not use that as
all I'm saying is that, everybody's different. And when I dated the second wife, who we did not have sex, we had all the things you're describing. We had parameters, we had boundaries we didn't cross, but it was a very physical dating period. It was actually pretty physical, me and her. And I have to say, as a man, that a lot of guys say, the reason why I have to sleep with her so I can know if the sex is gonna be good. There was no doubt in my mind that the sex was gonna be good with her.
Well, sex,
she was evil, but it was not the sex. So what?
You can work on sex.
Yes.
Women,
Well, a lot of men don't believe that. A lot of women don't believe that.
You can.
No, a lot of women don't believe. A lot of people don't believe that. They believe that you got to try it out. A lot of people. I don't agree with that.
I'm talking about Christian, born again believers in the word.
I'm saying them too. You got friends, talk to some of them. A lot of them believe that they have to try out the cow to make sure that the milk's gonna taste good, or whatever.
Now you see why the body of
Christ
is so weak. Why we got problems and troubles and.
What do you say?
I'm glad we're having this conversation because it's really helping me. Which is why a lot of times I think that that's why marriage. If we're not gonna do it God's way, which is why I'm so glad I brought you on here, and as a woman. It's very difficult, and it's almost like, I don't know, it's very difficult. So you need someone that is the leader. If he's the head, if he's my leader, if he's my king, he has to have self-control. He has to have self-control.
I agree. That's something that I don't disagree with you. That's something Devon Franklin talks about all the time. Devon Franklin really gets that, on the book The Weight that he wrote. I haven't read the book, but when I heard him talk about it, he nails that really. I totally agree with you. I'm not trying to tell you to go out and compromise and
right, I hear.
And deal with it. But what I am telling you though is that it is possible to have intimate moments
You're saying it's not
non-sexual,
probable.
romantic, intimate moments with somebody without having sex while you date, as opposed to not being able to even kiss your girlfriend because what it may lead to. The self-control.
You kiss her on the cheek?
Oh no, no. No. You just said. You just said have self-control. So.
Yes.
So he can,
but if I'm telling you that's a weak,
so now you're the one that got self-control. So now wait a minute. So now you're saying you don't have the self-control. So now you're talking about you.
I can come with a full chastity belt on.
Well, I'm just saying now you're talking about you now. That's different. Now you're talking about you now.
I get it.
Okay, so I'm saying that I did it.
Okay.
And I remember I had a girlfriend in the late 90s who is probably outside of my wife, like kind of a seminal girlfriend. This girl was just, I loved. This is probably the woman who I love more than anybody that I didn't marry. I mean,
okay.
It was a wonderful relationship. And we were both Christians, and we darted in and out of it. Sometimes we were celibate, sometimes we weren't. It was back and forth. And, you know, can't say it. Can't call it. I tried to lead her in that way that you're talking about, but I wasn't able to fully do it. But I tried. I did not. Okay. I would not have broken up with her over not giving it to me. Put it like that. I've never done that. I've never said, you know, I'm gonna break up with you if you don't give me some. And guys who do that, especially guys in the church, that's wrong. I think that's dead wrong. But yes,
of course, God is gonna get them. Don't they know the Holy Spirit gonna get them?
Yeah.
The Holy God is gonna get them, because the whole point is that we're trying to live holy. We're trying to live the way God is calling us to live, and that has been the biggest issue, is premarital sex. And for me, in the dating world, it's just when I ask a guy, they'll say that, and then they're trying you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, if that means we can't kiss or touch, but then when I say that, they're not trying to do all that. Uh-oh, Carl, you froze. Hey, guys, did I freeze? Carl froze, so maybe that's our cue. Maybe God is like, look. The questions out there. Yep, I lost them. Yeah, make sure I had any more questions out there. How did you all handle the communication of your children? So since the second wife's child is not biologically his, but he considers her child is, how does the relationship impact his current wife? Meaning, does he? Okay, let me see if Carl, guys, chimes back in. If not, I'm going to email him these questions and then answer them in the group. So, guys, what do you think? Wow, that's just a big issue with me. Just this sex thing. So it's just a mess. They just want to have sex. But Tandra, you're correct. Both parties do have to have self-control, and I know for myself, I do have to. Have some responsibility in that area. Okay, Charles coming back. Okay, he's coming back.
I'm back.
Okay. We lost you there for a minute, so we can start. Carl, I'm gonna have to bring you back.
Yeah, because my phone rang. I'm supposed to be going to this revival tonight at Shepherd Church, and a buddy of mine I'm going with, because I'm discipling him.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me get the some of these questions in the group.
Then that's what broke up the call. Anyway.
Let me give you a couple of questions, and then we're gonna hang up. It says, how did you, okay, so since the second wife's child is not biologically yours, but you consider her child yours, yes. You still call her your daughter, yes. How does the relationship impact the current wife, Tanya? Meaning, do you provide financial assistance, and how much time does you spend with the child? Actually, the child is grown.
She's 26.
But Carl can speak on this.
Yeah, she's 26, so, you know, it's not any financial assistance. I just spend time with her, and she has a son who's my grandson, so you know, I take care of the grandson on occasion, and she's in my life. And LaTanya is, you know, she's, again, You know, that's who she is. My wife does not act like that. She's not petty like that. And that's very hard to find, by the way. I'm sorry.
I know. I heard that with a lot of guys.
A lot of women are very petty about these kinds of things. They want you to absorb their kids and their family, but they don't want you to do this. It's really something that is one of the untold stories of blended families. Because when a man marries, he takes it very seriously about absorbing any children that come along with that. Whereas a woman, it's very hard for her for some reason. That was something that kind of surprised me. But Latanya's that she's not that way. And look, my second wife dumped my kids. She don't talk to my kids anymore. I mean, it's just awful. So, you know, and that was something that really kind of hurt me too. So I'm saying that I'm still cool with her kids, but she's not cool with mine. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just how y'all do. That's how. Now you
don't be blaming all of us.
Well, you know, you do that to me, so I'm just giving it back to you a little bit, so you can see what I'm doing.
Okay, what is the one thing you're 100% sure about in this marriage that you weren't sure about in the first two?
Me.
You?
Me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that me, and I think that, you know, I'm so certain about who I am, and I'm so confident in all the things about me and what God put in me, good and bad, that it gave me the confidence to choose better. So in that respect, that's why it's even, you know, even though I have, you know, clear opinions about how the second one went, it always comes back to me. It's not really about her. It's about me.
So then how do we know, this is our final question for the night, when you say it's about you, when we're picking a man, and I know this is what women's intuition and where the Holy Spirit will guide us, to know if he's ready.
Well,
like, how do we know?
How do you know if he's ready? How do you know if he's ready? Because I kind of spoke on this earlier, his behavior, the way he'll treat, you know, you asked me before, how do you know if a man's in love with you? The behavior that he will exhibit.
I'm saying married to you. He could be in love with you and not want to.
No, well,
oh no.
I don't know. I know I could be wrong about this, but generally speaking, if a man is really in love with you, he's gonna want to marry you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is another question: should a woman ever approach a man, ask her to date her?
I would say no, but there are people who disagree with me. I would say no.
Okay.
I would say no. And you know, here's the thing. Here's the reason why. You know, most women, not all, but most women would not want to have a relationship that is doing that the entire time. So, you know, you'll approach a dude and, you know, and make that thing happen, and then like a year later be mad because he's not leading you. Well,
that's what I said.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's
what happens. So if you want to approach a dude, go ahead, but just get ready to leave the entire time. Be happy with it.
But then how come? But then a lot of guys don't ask girls out anymore, Carl.
Then don't go out.
A lot of the guys.
Then don't go out.
They don't ask. They don't just come right out and say, Zandra. Like the Caucasian men will ask me out, or Asian men, but the brothers, they'll say something stupid, or I shouldn't say that because I don't make them feel bad. It's not as direct as it used to be. It used to be, hey Z, let's go out and do whatever. And I like to do a lot of things that guys like to do anyway. But they're not. The brothers are not as direct with me.
I don't know why. You know, that's, you know, I always joke around about this, and my wife even says this. Although I know men don't buy this, I would love to teach a class on this because I don't understand that either. I have to agree with you. I know that men are not as direct anymore. I think, in my opinion, the reason why they aren't, this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, it's because sex and availability to women is so plentiful that men don't feel they have to. But as a man, that's part of the fun of being a man, is pursuing. It's so much fun, even though we get told no all the time. So I don't know where these guys are coming from. I can't comment, but I do agree. You know, I talk to guys sometimes. I was talking to a guy yesterday, just on the radio show we were doing this, and I told the guys in the radio show, I was like, you know, they were saying that if the woman doesn't call them, then to show that they're interested. I'm like, I don't need no woman to call me to show me that she's interested. I will call her, and I will gauge her response to me on it, whether she's interested. And if she's my girlfriend, okay, she may call me, but that is not a requirement for me. Other than you call me back, laugh at my jokes, you better make me feel like I better get something from you that shows me that you're interested in me. other than a
Right.
free meal, which I can pick up after the first date. I'm just saying,
Okay.
That's how I know is how you respond. So a lot of guys do think, I call you a couple of times, like, you got to call me. I don't get that. But I was born when Eisenhower was president. So maybe that's me. I don't know.
So the new wave guys are looking for, from your perspective, just so I know when, how we're ending this session, they're so used to the sex and the women are just throwing it at them. They don't have to put the effort in.
I think that in general, that could be what's happening. This is a theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the sisters that, like myself, who are sitting back, we're waiting on our Boaz. So even though times are changing, we're just waiting on our Boaz to ask. So we just need to sit and continue to wait.
Well, I think that there are things you can do, and I think that
like what, Carl?
Well, be as pretty as you can all the time. Be open and smile a lot. Listen, I'm just telling you.
You mean like this? Like
yeah, exactly. All that damsel crap. Yes. I think that, when you're out and you see a man that may be interesting, make sure you can get eye contact with him, that he can see you looking at him and you're smiling. And you're always inviting him.
Guys, I won't look at him.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. No,
okay, I'm gonna have to work on that. I'm gonna have to work on that because I'm like, so well. So
let me tell you a funny story real fast. So when I went through the second divorce, I had a buddy of mine who changed my life by just saying a few things to me that I totally tweaked it. He says, "Man, I know what you're doing wrong," and he walked away. I said, "Well, you mean what I'm doing wrong?" He basically said, when you walk into a room, you don't chase women around. And all my friends do this, or many of them will. Chase women around, they see somebody who looks really good, and somebody like you perhaps who's not paying attention to, oh, I like him, I'm going to go pay attention. So that's the one you're chasing around. You come into a room, you sit your butt down and just observe the room. Get a drink, get an hors d'oeuvre, walk around a little bit, but sit down. Check out who's checking for you. First of all,
but what if I don't see you?
Well, I can't explain that. All I can tell you is that you walk around, you have to make yourself known. So let's say you see somebody who you think is interesting.
Oh my God!
Let's say you see somebody who you think is from a man's perspective. So let's say I see you at a party, all right, and I see you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, she's kind of cool. So I walk over toward you, and I kind of walk in front of you a little bit to check you out to see if I get your eye contact. Now, if you don't look up at me, if you ignore me, act like I'm not there, I'm not going to deal with you.
Okay, so that's my problem.
Yeah, that's your problem. I'm not going to deal with you.
Because I'll be a little bit nervous. So I may look down.
No, but the women that have no problem getting dates are the ones that have no problem.
So I'm gonna have to start doing like.
And I'm not trying to say you got to be all loose and stupid with it, but just be open. Be open.
But we have different
nothing you can't do. Nothing you can't do is you cannot walk around in a clump of women, like 15, 20 women. Don't do that either.
What?
Yeah.
Can't hang with a bunch of girls.
Don't be hanging with a bunch of girls. That's my thing. Because you don't want to. No. And if you do go to.
But Carl, if the Lord is sending you over there, to me, it don't matter where I'm looking.
Okay, here we go. All right, I'm just trying to help you. Because.
But no, if the Lord have told you I'm your wife.
No, it don't work. It don't work. No, don't work like that. Don't work like that. Don't work like that.
Hey.
I'm just saying to you that if I was single right now,
so you said
I would never chase one. I would never chase a skirt around a party. I don't. Smiling, I'm gonna go for it right there.
Fine, Carl. I'm at. All right.
And if you're not, if you're not looking at me and ignoring me, I'm going to ignore you.
That is just okay.
I'm not going to do that. No.
Okay. I got it.
Too many women out there.
I'm going to bring you back on, and I'm going to have you give us some dating, some things, some do's and don'ts. That's been my problem. So I see why now I'm missing out.
And you ain't got to, Zandra, you ain't got to fall over the guy. He's still pursuing you. He's still making the move. But like to your point, you were saying, is it okay to ask men out? I don't think it is.
I'm not. I just can't do. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
I'm answering your question. What you can do is you can be open to an approach and be warm and inviting.
Oh yeah, I'm open to an approach.
He can't like be reading your mind about it though. Like trying to figure out, you know, because you looking down, looking mean. You get to look at the guy.
I'm not trying to look mean. Okay, I'm gonna work on that. The Holy Spirit's gonna get a hold to me.
Yeah, you can't be all mean. You gotta,
I need help.
Yeah.
I need
we
help
like smiles.
I know.
We like kind. We like kind, warm. We like inviting. Right. You know, we like that stuff, and you know, I can't help it. But there are some guys, though, and these are the guys you probably don't want, who will chase you around the party because it's a conquest thing. You don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Judy. All right, everybody. Call Gilliard, my main man.
My sister.
Love you, Carl.
Love you too.
I'll hit you up and find out our next live.
Okay.
So we have to continue this. This is not over. Okay, everybody. Love you.
See y'all later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.